everyone, it's TJ, the Stereo-Bargainphile, and I am very pumped up today because today, real short and sweet, I'm going to have my video of Pop the Hood Overview. That's right, you all. Pop the Hood Overview of the Triangle Esprit E.Z Comete bookshelf speakers. Now, basically, a Pop the Hood Overview is where I go over a more in-depth look at the overall driver, cabinet, crossover, tweeter, speaker post, just overall the build quality. But you all caught me in the middle of having audio fun, and that is what audio is all about, is having fun. And some people may already know this, but I already had my first review of the Triangle Esprit E.Z Comete, and I got these speakers in on a loan lease agreement. Big thank you to Triangle for sending them into the channel on that loan lease agreement. But I like the speakers so much, I ended up purchasing them. So I wanted to have some fun with them. And I've been hearing about this dampening material for loudspeakers that is called NoRez. Now, I got online and found GNR Research. GNR Research sells these nice size sheets of NoRez that is 27 inches by 24 inches. And each sheet is, here in the United States, $48.95. I got on there and started looking at it, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to order 2 sheets. So I ordered 2 sheets of them, $113, $123 US, something like that. A couple of days later, you know, I come home from work, and there my package is. I go over, I grab it, I pick it up. I'm like, oh my goodness. Did GNR Research send me some extras? I was like, all right. So I get inside, I open it up, and it has the 2 pieces inside. I grab it and go pull them out. Now this is a much smaller piece. This is what is left out of 1 piece. But anyways, you can see it's about 1 inch thick. And it is really dense foam. And here on the other side, we have this really nice like backer board, hard plastic. And then you have this little white covering. And when you pull this off, it's sticky on the other side. Now what you have to do is use like a table saw or something and cut up different pieces. And when you place them inside your speaker cabinet, basically what this does in a nutshell, just to wrap it up real quick, is what it does is this material absorbs the energy that is being built up inside the speaker box. You know, it's helping absorb, you know, those frequencies inside of the speaker, all that energy, because a speaker box can be noisy. And this NoRez will calm that speaker noise inside. But I will tell you, engineers out there today, you know, when they are building a speaker, they do take in consideration the noise of the actual speaker cabinet. You know, the crossover, the driver, the tweeter, the speaker cabinet, they take all that in consideration when they're building the sound of that speaker. So, you know, NoRez can be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. It's really going to depend on the individual and the sound that they like. But, you know, I wanted to have fun with this, so I went ahead and I covered the whole inside of both of the Triangle Esprit E.Z Cometes. The whole inside's been covered. I had to cut up a bunch of different pieces because I had to go in through, you know, I had to take the driver out and go in through the driver hole. So altogether I had like 6 big pieces I cut. I had 1 medium-sized piece and 4 little pieces to go around the crossover inside. But altogether, I used 1 sheet for each speaker, and altogether I ended up using 75%, 80% of each sheet, which each sheet weighing in at 4 pounds. That means I added 3 pounds of weight to each of these speakers, and they started out at 20.5 pounds each. So now they're about 23 to 23.5 pounds each. And you know I had to do the test. As soon as I got this one closed up today and everything, I had to do the knuckle test because I done it before I used the NoRez and after. And I'm going to do it for you all today on video. I don't want to be a spoiler, but it did, using that NoRez really absorbed sound. So here we go with the knuckle test. It's a lot more solid than before. It's really absorbing that energy. So I thought it would just be interesting today to have this quick, you know, pop the hood overview for you all, because when I have my part 2 review of these Triangle Esprit E.Z comments, I will give my subjective humble opinion of the before and after performance of the NoRez. I spent a lot of time with these speakers, maybe 200 hours total before the NoRez, so I'm going to know right off bat the difference with it. But anyways, let's go ahead and get you all a close-up look. But one thing I want to go over with you all real quick that I think is so important is that, you know, I've been taking speakers and audio gear apart for a very long time, over 30 years, you all. And every now and then, you will run across some kind of little gremlin. And what do I mean by some kind of little gremlin? Well, something that's kind of hard to take off or get to, you know, if you're taking something apart. And one thing I want to tell the people out there, if they're just thinking about, you know, if they own a pair of the Triangle Esprit line especially, one of the things that was tough for me is this right here is what I call like a ring seal. What this does, it's just like a little rubber seal. It goes on the front, you know, of the driver, but it actually covers the surround also. But when I went to take this off, it was really, really tough to take off. Triangle glued this down very good. And you don't want to damage your speakers. I had to use my little snap-on screwdriver. Let's just say, you know, it was inside here. And Triangle did an excellent job with this cutout and fitting this perfectly in there. When you put it back together, you'd want to put the driver in first, then put this down, and use just a little bit of tacky glue that holds up good. But once you break it loose, you can take it back off if you want to. But anyways, when I was going to get this off and this was in here, you know, you don't want to hurt your speaker. So I was using a microfiber towel. You know, I'd take the end of it, I'd stick it in like that, and then I'd have to pop it out. But I didn't want to damage anything. I've done a good job. And another thing about this ring with the triangle is this middle piece is real alloy aluminum. And if you're going to take this out and you bend it real hard, you can put a crease in it. So be careful on that. I just wanted to go over that real quick. That was the only gremlin I had with this speaker. Put this one back together perfectly. More than likely will this one also. So let's go ahead and take a close look and dive in the Triangle Esprit E.Z comment. And here we go. At the bottom, there's your double barrel bass ports. Let's take a dive inside. Here we have our crossover. Now this crossover has 9 different audio components, all triangle components. Let's get that in better for you all. Trying to get that in really good for you all. As you can see, I covered everything inside. Go up to the top. Everything's covered. I did put some measurements in there. Y'all want to take a look at that titanium dome tweeter? That is actually a meaty size titanium dome tweeter to TZ2510B. As of this moment, that is Triangle's newest titanium dome tweeter. Alright. Actually cut 2 long pieces for the side, one on the top, one on the bottom. These are 2 different pieces. And then right here in front of you, that was basically a 5" by 5" medium size. Then I got 4 little pieces back here. Behind this is the 5-way binding post, all alloy aluminum. But yeah, it came out really good. Here's a close-up look of the driver. The magnet did feel a little bit heavier to me. This is a 6.5" driver. Now the magnet might have felt just a little bit heavier than the one that came in the Triangle Borea 3 that I had a review of, but that is to be expected. The Triangle Esprit E.Z comments about 2.5 times its price point. Then we go up here and there's our 100% cellulose paper cone with our dust cap that looks like a face plug, really strong. I don't see no kids pushing that dust cap in. And here's the one I had a little bit problem with. I will clean all this glue off. Triangle really put that one on tight. But they done such a good job with the cutout. When I put the driver in first, then this will fall in place just perfect, like it did on this one. Came out perfect. Can't wait to test this No Rez out. It has been a lot of fun. One thing I don't want to forget mentioning is the actual basket feels like it's made out of aluminum. It's got real thick, I guess you'd call that legs or supports on it. The one on the Bro 3, I think it was made out of stainless steel. On my Pop the Hood video of the Triangle Boreas 3, or what some people call the Bro 3, at 15 minutes and 50 seconds, I have the same close-up, so if you want to go take a look for yourself. When I put this driver back in the cabinet, it actually sits just like this, where the binding post is on this side. So one thing I had to take in consideration, I had to cut out the No Rez right there so that would fit on both speakers. It was in the same exact place. Hope I didn't blind you. There, that's much better. Sorry about that. But I did have to cut that out for that to fit. But I will say, here is the acoustic filling down here that did come in the Triangle Esprit E.Z comments. Really thick acoustic filling. It done a great job. I will not be reusing this back into the speaker cabinet because I don't want to be blocking the double barrel bass ports, and it would block them. Right now it's just right. Just right. The only piece I will be reusing is this piece right here. I'm going to put that actually in front of the crossover and lay it straight up against the back, and that'll be it. I did use a metal ruler and a razor knife. Could be real careful if you do this. I didn't have a table saw handy. It was pretty tough cutting through it for both speakers. Here's the Gorilla Wood glue I will use on the screws when I put them back in, when I put the driver back in, and I tighten them down. This will help for the screws not to ever back out. It will stay tight. Then if I ever need to take them out again, they won't be hard to get out. Then right next to it on the left here, this is the clear gel tacky glue that I will use to put this back on. I will clean all this off first and use just a little bit. It hardens up great, but if I ever need to take it off again, it'll be easy to do. So yeah, I'm really excited to get this one back together so I can get about a week's time in to see what the difference is in the sound, and then I will have part 2 of the review of the Triangle Esprit E.Z Comete, and I will tell my subjective humble opinion of the difference in sound. So until next time, this is TJ, the Stereo-Bargainphile. I almost forgot, here's the back 5-way binding post. Now these do have, if you use banana plugs, it will actually lock the banana plugs in. It's made out of pure aluminum. That was a really nice touch. Oh, one last thing. Here's Triangle's inner speaker cable. High purity, oxygen free copper cable. It's about 14 gauge. I didn't want to forget about that. Really nice tie downs in the back. back of the 5-way binding post. And that pretty much wraps it up. And for real this time, this is TJ, the Stereo-Bargainphile.